Hi, today we're going to be talking about our ASSURE model. This presentation is by Brecca McKinney, Vanessa Chavez, and Jackie Bree. ASSURE stands for Analyze Learners, State Objectives, Select Strategies and Resources, Utilize Resources, Require Learner Participation, and Evaluate and Revise. For this presentation, we're going to be using the ASSURE model to teach copyright to a group of 6th graders. The ASSURE model is a circular cycle. We start with our analyzing learners, then we move on to our state standards and objectives. From there, we're able to select our strategies and resources for our lesson, utilize our resources, require our learner participation, and then evaluate and revise. When we're analyzing our learners, we're going to start with the grade. For our lesson, we're going to be looking at 6th grade students. We're going to pre-assess them to determine students' prior knowledge or their specific entry competencies, using informal methods such as thumbs up, thumbs sideways, and thumbs down. We're also going to be accommodating for all learner styles, disabilities, and multicultural sensitivities. In the lesson, we ask the students to draw. For those students who can't draw, we will have access to Chromebooks. We're going to make sure that students have ability to see the screen and the presentation, as well as we try to limit culturally sensitive pictures to include all of our students.
For our state standards and objectives, we will be utilizing the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills for 6th grade. We will want our learners to differentiate between paraphrasing and plagiarism and identify the importance of citing valid and reliable sources, as well as use quotations to support ideas and an appropriate form of documentation to acknowledge sources. We will also utilize the ISTE standards for Digital Citizen. Students will demonstrate an understanding of and respect for the rights and obligations of using and sharing intellectual property. For select strategies and resources, we will be using Google Slides, a lecture through Novio, and a handout to teach basic copyright law. Utilizing our resources, we will utilize the AASL standards as well as the ISTE standards, the TEKS, Google Slides, APA Handbook, Novio, and a handout created through Piktochart. For previewing the resources, we will look at the standards for copyright law based on the selected grade level. Preparing our resources, we'll have Google Slides, Novio, a handout, paper and pencil, and directions on the screen. Preparing our environment, we will have the screen, document camera ready, and an area for the students to sit. Preparing our learners, we will have a bell ringer and a pre-assessment activity. And providing the learning experience, we'll have a Novio presentation, Google Slides, and a handout. Here is an example of our handout. It will be front and back. On one side, we will have the top 10 copyright facts for the kiddos to look at and use. And we will also have on the back a copyright can I use it flow map for them to use to decide if they are able to use the work or if they are not able to use the work.
For requiring learner participation, we will state what students will do, but not actually have them do it or give your directions as if they were there. For instance, when we ask them to draw, we're going to ask them to draw, but we're not going to give wait time. And this is the link to the Novio presentation. For evaluating the students, after the presentation, we will have a post-assessment to determine the student's knowledge of specific entry competencies using an informal method such as thumbs up, thumbs sideways, and thumbs down. And we can review the handout and the process used in the handout. In addition to this, we have a rubric students will fill out after the presentation, and it includes them answering questions of checking their understanding of content of the presentation, in addition to their thoughts on the presentation, it being clear, did it hold your attention, and then lastly, It asks about some social emotional question of the comfort level with the teacher and the librarian asking for help after the presentation.
These are our links. We have our links to our Novio presentation, the links to the rubric, as well as the link to the handout, as well as our works cited. This is how our group did our SURE model to show copyright law to 6th grade students.